Hello and welcome back. So today we have a really cool thing to show you guys. We do.
Pretty neat.
So as you can see, there's these letters laying here and some 1940s stuff. And this is because we're not sure where we got these letters, but we were helping years ago someone clear out their house, I think, and they had an aunt who saved these letters from someone she knew. But we're not sure who we got them from.
Yeah, we think that's where they came from, but
yeah,
we know we've had them for like 6 or 7 years because you really like, you know, like old-fashioned, timey stuff.
Yeah.
So you've had them, but just recently took them out and we actually read them.
Right.
It's really interesting.
So these are real letters from the 1940s, and they are all to someone named Anne Stockfish. And we looked her up. She's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we're pretty sure it's her boyfriend writing her, which his name is Peter J. Ward, because the way he writes, it's very, like he's in love with her. They're love letters.
Yes,
they are. But it's just really cool we're going to read some of them, and it's really cool to learn about people back then, just like their regular life, not just about World War II, but like actual people. So Anne Stockfish, her full name is Anne L. Stockfish, and she was born in 1902. And she died in 1988. So then Peter J. Ward, he was born in 1880. So when he's writing these, he's actually 65. But by the way he writes them, it kind of seems like he's younger.
You think he's like in his 20s.
Yeah.
He's very exuberant and, it's interesting. He's definitely older than she is.
Yeah, she would be in her 40s at this point. Yeah. So most of the letters, she was a nurse in Virginia. She went to Virginia Camp Lee, and that's where she is for most of these letters. She's a nurse. She's signing up, and he's writing her there. He is in Detroit, Michigan at this time, and he's kind of looking for a job through all these letters, and he's having a hard time with that. Yeah, and also at the point of these letters, she's a nurse and she's also a lieutenant, because he brings that up a lot. Like, he likes to say...
Yeah, he's very proud that she's a lieutenant.
Yeah, and he's like, I want to see you in your white uniform with your gold bars, the lieutenant bars.
No, and we're honored that we have these letters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool that we get to kind of...
They're real people.
That these are actual people living in that time, and... we kind of get to see a little picture of what they were like without, actually meeting them in person. So,
right,
we want to do justice to
it's kind of like
they wrote. And
it's like, since we weren't able to go back, we weren't from the 1940s, but we're able to see a little bit of what the 1940s people were like.
Right.
Yeah. So we're just going to read a few, and then maybe later, if you'd like us to read them more, maybe we could do it on Instagram or something and read some more letters. But we're just going to do a few today because it would take way too long to read all these letters.
Yes.
But there's a lot. So without further ado, we can get on and read the first letter.
Here we go. All right, so here we go. We have our hats on, ready to go. Whoever is being the person writing the letter is going to wear this hat.
Right, and whoever's wearing this is being Anne. So,
right.
Yeah.
So this one is actually not from Peter. This is the very first one. This is from Thomas. We're not really sure who he was, but he wrote her the letter first. So we're going to read this one
first. Right, because we're doing all the letters in order of when they came.
Right, yes. So here's the letter.
Yeah.
Open it up.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Look at this. Isn't that neat?
That is cool.
And we have... Oh, look at that. They printed it out for us, too.
Did they? Back in the 40s, they gave us a printed version? What?
No, we're just kidding.
No.
It's just we wanted to make sure we could read it. So
yeah,
we typed it
It's
out.
very, very old-fashioned cursive, so we wanted to get it right,
All right, so this is from March 6th, 1945, and it reads, Dear Anne, good hearing from you again. Moving around has delayed our mail a little. I thought sure my next letter from you would be signed Lieutenant. Good luck when you get there, and as I said before, I know you'll like it, even though I'm against it. Who am I? See if you can't get sent to Honolulu. If that were possible, I wouldn't consider this war so bad, but no such luck. If you do find time to stop and see Jewel, let him know how things go. I don't quite understand what complications you are speaking about in regards to visiting her. What goes? We don't know what that means.
Who's Joel? I don't
I
know.
wonder who that is. Things are still going fine here with yours truly, especially now since I am getting my beer rations regular. Let me know all about what you did with the household equipment, furniture, etc. And again I say, here's the best of luck and right often. Lots of love, Tom. And it's signed Sergeant Thomas Madigan.
So he's a sergeant. I guess he had something to do with her job with being a nurse, probably.
He did.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if they met on a job or what it was, but
yeah,
they obviously kept in contact.
So that's the only letter from him, and the rest are all from Peter. So
that's right.
Go read the next one.
Okay, so this next one is from Hotel Lafayette. This is in Buffalo, New York.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is from May 9th, 1945. Hello, my lovely lady. 'Twas kind of hard on my heartstrings driving away from Pittsburgh today. Honey, I wanted so much to turn back. It was a lonely old ride, and I caught myself talking aloud to you a few times. What a fool I am. 65 years old and still act like a scared calf. I suppose you'll get caught up on some of the work I held you back from. It's 6 p.m. Are you out walking, Pat? I wonder who Pat is.
Pat, actually, we have I didn't realize we had that. There's a pet cemetery thing that she bought through the mail, and they sent a thing and it said my pal Patty. So we actually have that.
Was it a dog? Or you don't know?
Probably a dog, since he's saying out walking. It's like, it says, we wish to notify you that your pet's marker has been completed and will be placed on the grave just as soon as possible, weather permitting. And then it says what would be on it, my pal Patty. But this one says 1949 to 1962, and that's 1945. So we think she had a dog before named Pat, and then this is Patty later. So I guess she named it the same thing.
I think people used to do that. I don't think people do it so much anymore, but...
Yeah. But that's cool that we have this. I didn't realize that it talked about the dog there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's connected.
Yeah.
Hope you get settled soon, Anne, one way or the other. Though I do hate to see you go someplace like Iwo Jima or Samoa or Rangoon. Don't forget that I have and this is either an AA1 priority or AA1 priority. It's got to be some military term.
Yeah.
On you for your first furlough. Didn't get a thing done here today. Going to bed early and dream of you. And get a good start in the AM. Would like to be through here Thursday afternoon. Going out to see my friend, Def, tomorrow, so I think I'll spend the next 2 nights out there. Take care of yourself, darling, and don't ever think I'm just a guy on the loose, 'cause I'm yours always. Peter.
Yeah, so something that we noticed too that he liked to talk about a lot until it actually happened was for her to get a pass to come see him, or for him to come see her, so she could go off the base. He kept asking all his letters, when are you gonna get that pass? Are you gonna get that pass yet? He was waiting
happening?
for it. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, so when we read through all these letters, we picked some that we were going to read all the way through, and then a few that we're just going to read certain parts, because some of them have really cool, like, historical facts or just really interesting things, but we didn't really necessarily have to read the whole letter, just some really cool parts of them. So some of them aren't going to be full letters.
Yeah, and we're doing it in the order that he wrote them. You know, we're not doing every single letter, but that's why it's a little bit broken up.
So this is Thursday, May 10th, 3 p.m., Goodbye for a while, my darling, and may you continue to spread goodness and cheer wherever you go. But please hold a little in reserve for me. Remember me in your prayers, your own, PJ. Sometimes he signed it PJ. So. Yeah, so this part isn't necessarily historical, but it's just, we wanted to read it because it shows kind of what he put in every letter. He was, like, very supportive of her job as a nurse. And
he's always encouraging her in that.
Right, always very positive about that. And he always he either asked for prayers or her prayers, and he kind of brought it back to God in most of his letters. So we thought we'd just kind of show you a little snippet here so you kind of get a sense of who he was and how he wrote all his letters.
Okay, on to our next letter. This is from Monday, May 14th. Would this still be 1945?
Yeah, this is 1945, and this is another partial one, just because it's got a historic thing in it.
Right, and he again put the time, 6 p.m. It says, Darling, may God bless you for your wonderful letters. You have me hurrying home now to a room that I've dreaded for months. Honey, you're everything I need. It's good to have your picture, Anne. I've looked at them 100 times today. Would like to get something a little closer, but where will you be living, honey? Let's both go to Pearl Harbor. I see they need construction men there, and I'm sure they could use a very good nurse. How about? So he mentions Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. So this would be a few years after they got the attack on Pearl Harbor from the Japanese, but I guess at this point they still were kind of needing construction men there.
Yeah, they were obviously rebuilding because they needed construction people.
Yeah, so they still needed it years later.
Right.
Okay, so this is a partial one. This is Monday, July 2nd, 3 p.m. Say, dear Lieutenant, you sound kind of downhearted the other day. What's come over you? If I know you can have all your share of fun there and still stay on the beam. Cheer up, honey. You're doing a good job. Don't be a gloomy Gus. Like yours truly.
Don't be a gloomy Gus.
Don't be a gloomy Gus. I don't know if I've ever heard that before until this letter. So the reason it's there, it should be for gloomy Gus, but the highlighted part is on the beam, which means on course, on the right track. So the phrase on the beam originated around the 1940s when aircraft began to be directed by radio beams. Its converse is off the beam, meaning wrong or incorrect. Both expressions began to be transferred to other enterprises almost at once. And now that I read that, I actually thought of an interesting fact. I read about the German Enigma code, which was their secret code that the British tried to hack into, and they did. They were successful. And what they would do was the radio beams, that would go to the aircraft as it says, but they learned how to move the beams so that where they were supposed to be going, they would have them go a different way. So when they dropped the bombs, it would be on a field or something and not on, like, the town.
There you go.
Wow!
Yeah. Our mom really liked that. Alright, so we are coming to our end of the letters here. There's so many more to read, but this is his last letter that we have that he sent to her.
Mm-hmm.
This is 1948, October, and we want to explain he's kind of gloomy in this one, kind of depressed and down in the dumps.
Yeah, and she's been so perky on all
Yeah,
these.
so if you read all these letters together, as he's writing, at the beginning, the majority of them are very happy and I'm in love with you and everything's great. And then it starts to go a little downhill and he starts to get gloomy. So there are a few things that kind of explain that, why he gets so gloomy. One is he's looking for a job through all these letters and he's gone through different jobs and it's getting tiring and stuff like that. And so there are a few letters here that go up to about the end of July in 1945, and then there's not another one until 1945 in September. And in that letter, that's when it starts to really go downhill. He starts to get gloomy, and after that, it just goes down. And we think maybe what might be part of that with both of them, they both seem kind of gloomy, is in between that chunk of time where we don't have letters, that's where the U.S. kind of ended the war, World War II, by dropping the atomic bombs in Japan. It was Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it was over civilians, and it was pretty horrible. You know, lots of people died, and if they didn't, they got really, really, really sick from the radiation that was coming off of those bombs. So that was right in that chunk of time where there really weren't any letters to them. So that, we think maybe that was part of it, why they were so gloomy, because they were dealing with that. Because even though the war ended, it did end in a very catastrophic way, you know, with all those civilians dying. Right. So we can't get to those letters today, right after those bombs. But we do have this last one here, which is 1948 in October from him to her. And it's the last letter in all of them that we have that he wrote to them.
We don't know what happened afterwards. It's a mystery.
Yeah. Dear Anne, read both your letters the same day. I've been in Midland, Michigan all week and didn't get back till Saturday. Should have arrived yesterday, but was so darn tired and sick, I just hit the old bed and stayed there till this morning. Would like very much to have you here on my vacation, Anne, though things are somewhat complicated. I mean my schedule. I think I told you I have a new job, or did I? After being out of the swim for so long, started at work for Crane Company a few months ago, am quite familiar with this type of business, but to practically start at the bottom again. Have been covering the northwestern Michigan territory with the assistant national manager the past month, and of course he makes the schedule, so consequently I never know just what day we'll be back at the Detroit office. This will go on until about the first of the year, and then I hope to get an inside job here in Detroit. I don't like it for several reasons. First, not enough money, and second, this guy, Sid Reynolds, I work with, younger than I, or do you? I think he means, do you remember me telling you this? How old buck like myself likes to take orders from someone younger? So I wanted to say, too, that this is more, it's not about the bombing so much, I think, at this point. I think since it's a few years after, this is more, he had so much time because he didn't have a job to go and, like, visit her and write her. And now that he has a job, he kind of doesn't have a lot of time to go see her because he's traveling. So that might have put a wrinkle in their relationship because he didn't have a whole lot of time after that. From what I can figure out for the next few weeks, I doubt very much if I can meet you anyway here on the weekends. Hate to ask you to come down here and not see you often. Next Friday, we're due at Dow Chemical in Midland, and Monday AM at Millenmick. Yay! Guys, I couldn't say it for the longest time. I kept saying Millenmick.
You can't say it.
Wait, I kept saying Millenmilk. So I'm sure we won't come in for the weekend. Too much driving. How about Monday or Tuesday of the same week? Could meet on a train that arrives in the PM. Wish I could tell you, I take off some time, but things are different than they used to be. Old man Peter can't jump around from any job to another anymore. Do come down, though, if it's only for a few days during the week. I must have a talk with you about a certain statement you made about not going to Mass, and I want to hear those, quote, good, end quote, reasons. Sorry I can't be more definite in my plans. I'll explain to you later when I see you. Love, Peter. So, yeah, so what we're getting from that is that his job, it's getting busier and he can't see her as much.
He's getting older, too.
Yeah, he is getting older, and he has to keep this job. And he's also not happy about her. Apparently, she said in a letter that she sent him that she wasn't going to go to Mass anymore
I guess.
or anything. And,
yeah.
And so, from what we can tell from some other things we have, is they never got married because she has something, it's about, well... Actually, cool thing is she was in her 70s at this point. This is from 1988, or 1981, and she died in 1988. And this is, she put in a request to be in the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
She wanted, in her 70s, so she wanted to keep going. And so it says Miss Stockfish in the 80s, so we're thinking something happened in their relationship and they never got married. And so that's kind of
very sad. He was so happy.
Yeah, he was so devoted, and then it kind of went a little downhill. But that's kind of all we have on their relationship there. I hope you have enjoyed these letters that we've read. I know we've enjoyed reading them.
Little taste of history.
Yeah. And let us know if you'd like us to make another episode, or maybe we can do an Instagram video or Instagram live, reading some more of these letters, and because there's so many cool things to read. And now it is time for the news.
A new study done by the fine scientists at the School of Rocks has found that people who wear hats are 5 times more likely to say yes to the dress. What does that even mean?
And an up-and-coming app has many people excited. The app, called My Movie Star Life, is programmed to add sound effects to the things happening around you. For example, if you look up in a dramatic way, this will happen. If you blow your nose. If you eat an avocado. If you eat cereal, this will happen.
Why?
And now, what time is it? It's time for the Taylor Treasure Box.
Dun, dun, dun.
Got to use that in there.
Would you rather have to wear a watermelon as a necklace or wear a pineapple as a bracelet? Oh boy. How would you even wear a pineapple as a bracelet?
I don't know. You'd connect it to a chain.
Do you mean like a whole fruit? I can't cut it up?
Yeah. Whole fruit.
Oh gosh, I guess a watermelon, but then I'd have serious back problems.
Yes, you would. I mean, the fruit on your hand or your...
Then you couldn't do anything because you have something weighing you down. So, watermelon.
Okay. I have to talk about socks and pencils in a sad and serious voice. So, I had these pencils the other day, and they broke. The tips.
Your pencil broke.
The tips of the pencils broke. Socks. I mean,
I like socks.
Socks. I can't wear those kinds that go up to your knees.
Oh, knee socks.
Because,
yeah, those are fun.
Well, they can't. They take off the circulation to your feet. They take all the blood away because they're all the way up to your knees and they're so tight. I can't wear those socks. I have to wear the ankle socks. Guys, do you know what that's like to have to wear ankle socks and not have the right kind of pencils?
Just got very dramatic.
It's actually not true. I don't like knee socks. I like ankle socks. Yeah. So it wouldn't really matter to me anyways. So again, hope you enjoyed this episode. I just thought it was such a pleasure to get these letters because it was really interesting to see how in the wartime they took the positive side and they had like a positive look on things and tried to, and just to see their life in the 1940s.
Yeah, their life through these letters. And, you know, right now, as the world is in a crazy, state, having this distraction, it's like getting a gift they didn't even know that they were going to give,
Yeah,
because
right.
It gave us, time just to focus on something really cool in history and just kind of like go back in time for a little bit.
Yeah. So we really appreciate getting these letters to read. Let us know definitely in the comments below if you'd like us to read some more on Instagram or on here. We'd love to do that. Just let us know. And make sure to give this video a like and a comment and make sure to subscribe. And after you subscribe, make sure to press the bell so you get all of our videos in your notifications box. And remember to follow us on Instagram at Taylor Treasures Official. And we'll see you next time. Bye! Hey guys, thanks for watching that episode. If you'd like to subscribe down here, that'd be awesome. You could subscribe. And if you'd like to watch a random episode, you can click down here.
Right over here.
And we'll see you next time. Bye!